Let us not forget everything that happens. It's by the will of Allah. Holy will. It's time to unite and stand, and we will be the best amongst men. It's not time to be extreme or duty unthinkable, but to stand together as one. Tune into Sunnahfollowers, streaming every day, various platforms. Trust me, you'll find a way. Sunnahfollowers. Assalamu alaikum, new class alert. Join us every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. Central for the Articles of Belief by Muhammad S. Adli, right here on Sunnahfollowers.
Oh, okay. Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salamallah wa rasulullah. Welcome everybody to our Hadith class for tonight. And subhanallah, it's just amazing. I was telling the sisters here in my Zoom room how everything, this website, for those of you who don't know about us, Sunnahfollowers, we've been around since 1986. Most people have heard of us. They've heard of me. I was the first one doing dawah on the internet. In fact, voice technology was invented with my website, the Sunnahfollowers website, back in 1986. So subhanallah, and then second after me was Islamic City. I was before Islamic City. But subhanallah, I've been doing dawah on the internet since then, and it seems like a lot of people say, Sister Layla, how is it that your website has survived this long? I've been around doing this consistently since then, every day. And I told them, well, for one thing, Allah guides this website. It seems like Allah lets us know whatever problems that the Ummah seems to be facing or addressing for that year or whatever, Allah lets it be known. Through the teachings here. For example, today, the hadith that we're going to go over in class today, I said, oh my God, did y'all see this hadith? Because we're doing from the book, this is the book Termites, written by the way, let me put that up here. This is the book Termites, written by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli. For those of you who don't have this book, you want to go to atlionline.com. Let me make a thing for this. www.Atli, I'm getting ready to make it now so y'all can go just get it. atlionline.com. This is the book, Termites. Wait a minute, did I put it up? There. This is the book written by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli. You can go to www.atlionline.com and buy a copy of this book. And I was telling the women in the Zoom room, I said, subhanallah, I think we're on hadith number 27. I said, did you guys read this hadith? Y'all see what this hadith is about? Subhanallah, this hadith is about what many of you sisters have been coming to my Q&A show asking about. We've been speaking about it for a few months now, the problem. Where some of you sisters are married to brothers, to men, unfortunately. And I do say unfortunately because this is a horrific sin. For you women that don't understand, and let me talk about it for a minute because I do have some new shahadas here. Trying to see how I'm going to put this. When it comes to relationship between you and your husband, there's only two. I repeat, only two. There's only two prohibitions that Allah has given us in regards to relationships between your husband and you. Number one, When you're on your menses, no relationship. Number 2, the relationship cannot be from the anus. Those are the only 2 restrictions. That's it. Everything else is good and clean. Everything else is good and clean. What does that mean? That means everything else is lawful. Because again, Allah doesn't forget. Allah doesn't make mistakes, nor does Allah speak in riddles. He lets you know, thou shalt not drink alcohol. He lets you know, thou shalt not do anal. Thou shalt not do menses. It's clear. The lawful and the unlawful, as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the lawful and unlawful are clear. The things that Allah did not mention are lawful. And they are concessions. And you, as a Muslim and as a human being, have to learn to accept the concessions of Allah. So, those are the only 2 prohibitions for a husband and wife in regards to a relationship down. You know what I'm talking about. But what's come upon us for the past month, remember a lot of the new sisters, of course, they're only going to do this to the women that are uneducated. We have a lot of women that convert to Islam. They don't know the religion. And the first thing they do is get married. And this is something I want to steer you sisters away from doing. When you convert to Islam, before you jump up and get married, you need to learn your religion. You need to learn about the rules of marriage. You need to learn what your rights are as a wife. You need to learn what his rights are as a man. You need to learn what your role is as a wife, what his role is as a man. And you also need to learn, I don't know what I hit. I hit something here. You have to learn the lawful and the unlawful in regards to marriage too. These are things that you sisters should focus on before you jump up and get married to anyone. Because you go into a situation that you don't know nothing about. And people, I hate to say it, but the humans, as human beings, we're criminal by nature. It's our nature. The soul is criminal by nature. And it's just the nature of someone to take advantage of you. If a person is not righteous in his deen, if you marry a man who is not righteous, and you won't even know what righteous is because you just became Muslim. You haven't even studied the deen. You don't know how Islam defines a righteous man. So you'll end up attaching to the kind of men you were used to before you converted to Islam. Before you converted to Islam, you were with men who were not righteous. Water seeks its own level. So you end up with another such man. But the difference is this one will call himself a Muslim. And then he may do things to you that you don't want to do, but he'll tell you you have to do it because your job is to please me. And this is what we've been speaking about, this hadith that so many brothers use against you sisters who don't know any better, that the woman is supposed to please her man. Well, as I and Sheikh Morsi have explained to you, that's not what it doesn't mean. Do whatever your husband tells you to do. It means obey your husband in regards to the things that Allah commanded you to do. And that hadith about any woman who dies and her husband is pleased with her, she can enter paradise to whatever gate she wants. No, it doesn't mean because my husband pleased. You could have been a crackhead. You could have been a woman that never prayed. But because he's pleased with you don't mean nothing. No, those are duties to Allah. Okay? That's not what it means. What that hadith means is any woman who died and she fulfilled the obligations that Allah imposed upon women to fulfill. That's what it's talking about. Y'all understand? We have to stop taking Islam, tearing it apart. Stop taking these hadiths that we don't know the history of or nothing else, don't even speak the Fushat, understand the real translation anyway, and we tear them apart and use them against people. This is why we have a high apostasy rate. Well, there's no obedience to the creation over Allah. If your husband tells you to do something that Allah did not command that you had to obey him in doing, you can tell him, no way, Jose. Let me give you an example. I'm going to always give y'all proof, my dalil. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam received Maria as his right-hand possession from the king of Egypt, the prophet approached all his wives and he said, can she live with you? Will one of you volunteer to allow her to live with you? They all said, no way. Aisha said, not in my house. Salama said, not in mine either. Hafsa said, not me. Zainab said, no way, Jose. None of his wives, even Sauda said, well, oh, Muhammad, you know, the children, I have all the children with me. I have no room for any slaves. They all told him no, because that was something that they did not have to obey him in. Do you sisters get it? We only have to obey our husbands in regards to the things that Allah commanded us to obey him in doing. I don't have to take in no right-hand possession to live with me because Allah said I didn't have to. So just like all the prophets' wives told him, no way. They said, find somewhere else to take your right-hand possessions. Ain't no slaves girl staying here with me. All his wives refused. And he said, okay, thank you. And he ended up, one of the male companions had a house. He volunteered to let her stay in his house. Okay. So that's an example. That's an example. That's my dalil, that you women don't have to obey your husband in everything he tell you to do. You only have to obey him in everything he tells you to do that Allah commanded you to obey him in. And what are those things? Every Muslim woman should know. What are the things? Let me ask the sisters here in the Zoom room. Who can tell me what are the things that you are supposed to obey your husband in? Who can tell me? Let's hear it. Y'all don't know?
When he calls you to the bedroom.
I want you to tell me everything that you're supposed to. Most of y'all are married. What is it that you're supposed to obey your husband in? You women don't know? Y'all thought everything? If he tell you jump out the window too? What did Allah command you to obey your husbands in? Let's hear it.
If he tells you not to have someone in his house that he doesn't like your best friends, or you think they're your friends, or your parents, or relatives, or anyone like that he feels should not be around you, he can command you, or he can command you not, order you not to bring that person into his house. And also, you don't deny his bed. If he needs to have sex with you and you're standing at the stove cooking, then you stop cooking and go and take care of your husband. SubhanAllah.
What else?
Those are the two major things that I know.
Okay, what else? I want y'all to list them all. What else? Y'all want to see you women been Muslim all your lives and don't even know what Allah commanded you to obey your husbands in. It's not it's not covering your face. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. What are you supposed to obey your husband? What are the rights?
If you're doing voluntary fast and
no,
making up
that ain't got nothing to do with it. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. What did Allah command you women to obey your husband in? In other words, what are your husband's rights? Y'all don't know your husband's rights?
Not exposing his secret to others.
This is why a lot of y'all's not you guys. This is why a lot of marriages end up in divorce. Like I said, before you women get married, you need to learn what your rights are. The women on my website can't answer, but they all got good husbands. Thank God they got Sunnah-follower husbands. Otherwise, they'd be lost. They'd be one of the women that be taken advantage of. Okay? What are the things that Allah commanded the women to obey their husbands is? Number one, guard in his absence, and write it down. Guard in his absence. Whatever he would have you to guard, that means his home, his property, his children. Number two, never refuse his call to relations. Number three, do not allow anyone in his home without his knowledge or permission. And number four, this is it. It's only four things. What's the fourth one? Did any of you know? What's the fourth one? Y'all don't know?
If you want to go somewhere but he doesn't allow it, you can't go.
Do not leave the home without his knowledge and permission. That's it. Those are the four things that Allah has commanded all women to obey their husbands in. Those are the things that the prophet said any woman who dies and her husband was pleased with her because she fulfilled those four rights given to him by Allah, she will enter paradise through whatever gate she picks. Now y'all see, there's always more to the hadith. You have to learn from the people of knowledge. So, as I gave y'all in the example, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received Maria, he went to his wives. He said, who's going to allow her to live with them? They all said, none of us. You take her somewhere else. Aisha said, over my dead body, will she come near me and my house? You better find somewhere else to take your Egyptian slave. And that's just how Aisha said it. You better find somewhere else to take your Egyptian slave. Sauda, oh, Muhammad, I have the children. I have no room in my house for no slave. So all his wives refused. Nothing he could do. He said, okay, thank you. And he left. They weren't cursed. Allah wasn't angry with them. Nothing. There's no repercussion because Allah did not command us to obey a man in anything but those four things. My home is my right. My home is my domain. You can't, just like we can't bring nobody up in our house without our husband's permission, he can't bring nobody up in your house without your permission. Islam is a check and balance, okay? So, where am I going with this? Well, today's hadith. I got a lot of the new women who convert to Islam, or they've been Muslim forever and never learned the deen. They marry some man who's an abusive loser, and he tells them, I want you to have anal with me. And the woman says, no, I don't like to do that. He says, what did Allah say? Didn't Allah say that you should please me and you should obey me? Didn't Allah say that making me happy is your way to paradise? So the new convert woman who doesn't know any better, or the Muslim who's been Muslim forever who ain't learned her deen, doesn't know any better. All she's ever heard is this People on YouTube saying, obey your husband and lick pus. Obey your husband and lick pus. Obey your husband and lick pus. And stuff about mishwak sticks, beating women with wish that. I don't know where they get this garbage from. That's all she's heard. And by the way, the prophet never hit no wife with no mishwak. Y'all got the wrong prophet, the wrong man. That's the story of Prophet Job. By the way, let me answer that question. I forgot to talk about it. Last Q&A. This mishwak, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never hit any of his wives. Aisha radiallahu anha, she said the Prophet never hit any of his wives. He never beat any of his children. He never even beat any of his slaves. So anything about a mishwak is a lie against our Prophet Muhammad. There is no, I repeat, there is no authentic hadith on this planet that says the Prophet used to go around disciplining his wives with a mishwak. But I can tell you where the ignorant people get that from. That's the story of Job, alayhi salam. That's happened with Job. Job took some straw and put them together to hit his wife because of the oath he swore. But we don't follow the sunnah of Job. We follow the sunnah of Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who never laid a hand on any wife in a hurtful way or a humiliating way. So these misconceptions that you sisters are hearing from these internet men, y'all better get a life. These men are crazy. Y'all listen to some crazy people. Tell them to come talk to lailanasheeba like that. Oh, I'd shut them down. What mishwak? Oh, really? Where? Okay. Put your hands on Layla with a mishwak or not, you're going to get a roundhouse kick to your head and you're going to be knocked out. Seriously. And that's how the prophet's wives rolled too. Those women were warriors. They didn't allow nobody abuse them. Y'all got people mixed up. Well, anyway, these new convert sisters will come and say that they married this man and this man told them that they have to do anal to please them, whether they like it or not. Well, Allah says it's haram, so they know it now because I told them. But now tonight's hadith is going to be more dalil. And I want you new sisters who've been told that to think about this hadith. So let me put this hadith up on the screen for tonight. And I'm going to put this down so y'all can screen share it to the new sisters. Hold on. Wait a minute. What did I click on? By the way, please support this dawah effort. I had that up on the screen. Please donate to support this dawah effort. I keep forgetting to mention it. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me take the tag down too. Okay. All right. PowerPoint. Okay, let me first go to this for the sisters on Zoom. And some of the new sisters are here. And I'm glad you sisters are here. So you can look at this hadith. And it's good to see some of the new shahadas coming into the Zoom room. I prefer, especially for the new shahadas. That's why if you guys notice on all the stuff I've been putting out, I've been putting that scan me. I want the new shahadas to come into my Zoom room so I can get more personable with them. And I want you to get more comfortable where you can come to me and ask me questions and I can break it down to you and all of that. All right. So this is the book that we're studying from, Termites. This is how it looks. You can purchase it by going to www.atleeonline.com. And it's called Termites because what Sheikh Atlee did was he went through the authentic, the hadiths from the Sitta, and he selected hadiths wherein the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about different actions that we may do that can actually eat away at the foundation of our faith, just as a termite can destroy your home by eating at the foundation of your home. Well, these are actions that if we indulge in can do the same. And let's take a look at tonight's hadith. This hadith is narrated by Thawban. May Allah be pleased with him. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I know that some of my nation will come on the day of judgment with blessings like the mountains of Tuhama, which are white mountains. And Allah will make it vanish. He will make all their blessings vanish. And I want you sisters to pay attention to that. Remember, we talk about the bankrupt people. The bankrupt people. The Muslims who do good deeds in this world. But when they die, all their good deeds will disappear. Because their Aqidah was not correct. Or they died upon a major sin that was so atrocious that Allah takes away all their good deeds as a result. So here the Prophet is speaking in this hadith about how some of us will come forward on the day of judgment with blessings that are a lot of blessings, and then Allah will make our blessings disappear and we have nothing. And when he said this, his companion said, "O Prophet of Allah, I can't imagine any of us being like that. Can you describe these people so we don't become like them, since we don't know, these people?" And again, this hadith is directed towards us. Remember, I told you guys that one of the things that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to stress out about, he used to worry about us. He used to worry about us, his followers, who will never meet him. And so Allah would give him tidbits of information about us who he would never meet. So Thawban said, tell us about those people so we don't become like them. The Prophet said, they are your brothers. They will be your brothers, and they will be from amongst you. And they will pray at night just like you do. But they are a people who are different than you, because when they are alone in private, they will disregard the limits of Allah. They will do things in private that you would never do. This is one of those things. Anal relations. Behind closed doors. This is a sacrilege. Allah destroyed the people of Lot. Allah is clear. He says everything else that a man wants to do with his wife, he can. He just has to avoid two things: anal and menses. Anal and menses. You young sisters are telling me how you're marrying these men who are making you do anal and menses. You got your husband who's making you do both. These are the people the Prophet was talking about. They go to the mosque, they dress the part, they pray, they fast Ramadan, but then when the lights are out or when ain't nobody looking, they're going to do all kind of crazy things that the companions wouldn't think of. You're going to try to tell your wife she got to obey you to the point of disobeying Allah. She got to prostrate to you. She got to lick your pus off you. She got to engage in anal. She got to do menses too. And guess what? She got to cover her face. Oh, that falls in this too. Disregarding the limits of Allah. Allah commanded the Muslim woman how to dress. Allah is clear in the Quran. The Prophet Muhammad was clear. His wives are our mentors and examples. Even the Prophet Muhammad's wives did not cover their faces. I tell y'all that. Y'all better learn history. But now your husband want to make you cover your face and cut one hole out for an eye. This is transgressing the limits of Allah. Are you going to oppress your wife? And then you're going to tell her to do it to please you. Allah didn't command her to dress like that. And Allah only commanded her to please you in regards to 4 issues. If it don't fall in those 4 categories, I ain't got to listen to you. Just like the prophet's wives told the prophet, we don't have to obey you in that. We ain't letting no slave live up in my house. He never asked them to do that anyway. He just said, would somebody take her in? They said no. He didn't. It was no argument. He said, okay, thank you. He left because he knew they ain't got to obey me in that. Because that's not a right that I have. So you sisters who allow your husbands to oppress you and break you of your womanhood, make you think that you're nobody, that you're nothing, you can't wear colors, you can't be beautiful, you got to walk around with your face covered and look out of one eye, and then you got to wear gloves when it's 100 degrees outside on top, you look like a fool. And that's what he wants you to look like. Because he's insecure. He's got a problem with his manhood. He can only do that to you, a woman that don't know no better. He can't do it to a woman who knows better. You sisters got to learn your deen. A person will disregard the limits of Allah if they are able to. Remember, marriage is a partnership. We're supposed to work together towards paradise. When your husband comes to you with crazy stuff like this, you're supposed to speak and tell him, wait a minute, Aki, let me let you know you're transgressing the limits that Allah has given you. Allah told me what I have to obey you in. He didn't include this. Allah said this that you want me to do is haram. Menses, anal, this is haram. I am not going to be a part of your transgression. I am not going to be a part of your sinfulness. I am not going to be a part of your perversion. I'm not going to be part of your homosexuality. I'm not going to be a part of whatever your issue is, because I love Allah first and foremost. And then I love the prophet, and then I love myself. You have to correct him. It's your job as a wife to correct him. And if he doesn't take the correction, then you can go the next level, which is bounce, bro. This is Islam. This is the true Islam. Islam is not oppressive. Allah made the laws for us in all matters of life. Dress, eating, working, even sexual relations. Man cannot supersede Allah's laws. And you sisters are going to have to get your priorities together. Do you love him more than Allah? Is he your God? Or is Allah Allah? Only you can answer that. So this is another great hadith that Allah just happened to pick up for us for the day. I didn't know this was the hadith for the day. Now, number 27. It's like in this hadith, Allah wants me to reaffirm to you, sisters. Again, more evidence from the Quran, more evidence from the Sunnah, that you don't want to be a person who disregards the limitations of Allah. We have to obey him, not anyone else. Our good deeds are not accepted unless they're done for Allah. I don't do good deeds for my husband. I'm doing them for Allah, not for you, Aki. I'm respecting you, and I'm honoring you, and I'm loving you because I want Allah to be pleased with me. And because when Allah is pleased with me, he will cause your heart to soften towards me. Allah controls the heart of man, sisters. You obey Allah and keep your duty to him, he will cause those who need to love you to love you. He will control the heart of your husband and make him soften up and get it together. Okay? So ponder this hadith. Who are these people who will stand before Allah on the day of judgment and all their blessings taken away from them? They are Muslims. They pray at night. They fast. They give in charity. But they are a people who, when they are in private, they disregard the limits of Allah. Are you one of those? That's the question. Are you one of those people? Okay, I'm going to stop right here.